So I was like, what am I going to talk about today? And all I kept hearing was accountability. So here we go. This is something that you will not hear me talk about only once. It is a topic that I feel needs to be repeated all the time for us. So, I was doing my little meditation before I went live, and that's what I kept hearing. And hi, Michael. So this is what I'm going to talk about, I guess, and then we'll see what it turns into. You know, I am a little overtired right now, so we'll see what happens. But I just want to share this before I get started, so I'm not like super distracted. I don't know what's happening here. Okay, here we go. I'm definitely tired. Okay, I'm good. All right. So accountability. I noticed that it's, especially since I started shifting my services and working with people differently, I really need to implement this into my practice more with working with clients. And I think I'm doing really well with the coaching with that. But what I noticed with people, and I feel like a lot of it too is, oh, that's awesome, Michael. Good for you. That I noticed that, and that's like the thing when I talk about in the readings is that people just like want the answers. But I think the other underlying thing is that people don't ever hold themselves accountable for the things going on in their life. Like it's time for you to take responsibility and make the changes for yourself. And there was a lot of things that kind of came up this week where I was like getting annoyed by certain things that happen. So I guess I'm just going to talk about it. Like the thing that's going on with that guy, Jeffrey Epstein. I think his first name is Epstein. But anyways, I'm sure that some of you might have heard about it. If you haven't, I guess, whatever. I know who he is because I've heard the name before due to other things that I've looked into. So I know all about, the child sex trafficking and all of that going on. And, I don't hear I don't see anybody talking about this. Not like anybody that I'm friends with, but I'll tell you right now, I see a lot of people on my timeline still complaining about the same political things, but nobody's talking about this Epstein dude. And I was actually watching some videos on it last night that were mainstream news sources. So I was like, oh shit, this is really coming out. Like, this isn't something that's hidden anymore. It's beginning to hit the mainstream more now, which actually makes me really happy. But it's something that's been hidden so long and it's been thrown into the conspiracy theory category when it's actually the truth. It's not conspiracy theory. And that's something that, me and Steve are actually going to talk about more on our podcast tomorrow. I don't know if we're going to touch on this subject, but we're definitely going to talk about it, and you can join live here. And if you missed the live, I think tomorrow we're going to go live around like 2:30 Eastern time. But if you missed the live, it'll be up on here so you can watch it. But we're going to talk a lot about conspiracy theories and why we don't like them and why we love them, because I think that's what's happening now is that there's so much information out there that you can't figure out what is the truth and what isn't. But the whole Jeffrey Epstein thing, like when I was like meditating on that, and is that he is friendly with such powerful people. Yeah, he's friendly with such powerful people, and nobody gives a shit. Like, nobody gives a shit to even say anything. I feel like because they'd rather complain about the same politicians that they're complaining about with the stupid shit that, CNN or these other news sources are, making you mad and making you focus on, when there's actually bigger things going on that you don't want to pay attention. Yeah, people are just ignoring it. Like I posted something in the Ascension Next community. I mean, maybe because it was late last night, but nobody said a goddamn thing. And I'm like, every time that I post something about child trafficking or try to spread the news, it's completely ignored. And to me, I'm in a community of awakened people, and they don't want to know. They just don't want to hear it. And to me, that's not, you're not being accountable. You're not holding the people accountable that are actually, in a sense, this is like black magic here. Like this is black magic to its finest. Like what's going on with the trafficking and things like that, that is one of the things that is energetically destroying the planet. Like energetically destroying the planet. Like we are not holding these people accountable. There, it's very brutal truth. And yeah, and we need to face what's going on. And I noticed that a lot of people in the spiritual community like to ignore the really harsh realities of the things that are going on in the world, and a lot of them still follow the mainstream sources and the mainstream media. And to me, you're not being accountable. Like you're still running from the truth. And even in a smaller sense, in my world, there's still clients, quote unquote, that I'm working with that are making up excuses, and they're not holding themselves accountable. And I think what this is showing me is, with my practice, it's definitely becoming more hardcore. And I can't work with people who can't hold the truth. They can't be accountable to the truth. They can't believe in the brutal truths. Just like Tina said, I really can't deal with the fucking excuses anymore about, I can't deal with this because it's too much on my energy fields, and I can't deal with this because it triggers me too much, and I can't deal with this because I'm just not in the right space right now. And, sometimes those are really valid excuses, but I think that when you say them all the time, you're not holding yourself accountable for the things that you need to work on. And what we really need to work on as a whole, collectively, is what's happening with this child trafficking, or even just the trafficking going on in general. It's not even just children, it's actually people. And there's, like Leslie said, and it has to do with a lot of powerful people in the world, and we're not holding these people accountable for their actions at all. And another thing that was coming up when I was meditating is, we love to make up the bad guy in our head. Like we love to be like, oh no, he's not the bad guy, but he's the bad guy, because this is what the bad guy is to me. So I think this is something too that's happening with the awakening, especially when this Epstein stuff starts coming out, because I've seen some of the lists of celebrities that have been to this island with orgies with young children, and I'll tell you right now, it's a lot of people's favorite celebrities and favorite fucking politicians, and a lot of people aren't going to be happy about it. I don't know if the list is true. That's why I'm not like reading it off to you right now, because I'm not going to put people's names out there if I don't really know for a fact. Like I like to back things up with as many facts as I can when it comes to things like that. um Not so much with the alien stuff and thing, I try to, but it's harder with that. But I just don't like to throw people under the bus, you know what I mean? um I'm not that type of person anymore. But yeah, there's definitely something going on with, um, I can see it. Like, I can see so many people running away from themselves and the truth within themselves. And then they're also running away. The same people are running away from the truths that are out in the real world. They can't handle it anymore. And I'm just so over the I can't handle it anymore. I can't handle that. I can't handle, like, I understand when in certain points in your life and in certain times in your life, you just need a break. You know what I mean? Like, you need a break. You can't deal with it. You got too much shit going on. But there's just some people where that's just constantly their excuse, you know? And it's funny when people say to me, I can't handle, learning about or reading about the sex trafficking, when it's like, how do you think that those people feel that were the victims of it and they're not being heard? You know what I mean? Like, that's what I think when it comes to things like that. I just really feel, let me see, I'm going to read some of these comments here because they look like good ones. Accepting the knowledge I'll move this thing forward. Accepting the knowledge we are giving brings on fear. Let's see. Wow, that's so true. I'm glad you're speaking on it. Yeah, I didn't really want to talk about this Epstein guy, but I don't know. I feel like it's the thing that keeps coming up. I read a story about a reporter that has been investigating Epstein for years, and no traditional news outlets would touch it. Yeah, well, it's because he's got a lot of powerful people protecting him. The truth ruins the reality they created for themselves. That everything is only positive, never facing the ugliness of life or humanity. Yes, Phaedra, definitely. People would, oh my God, yeah, Aaron, the idolizing of celebrities. Like, when I was reading, actually, I was watching YouTube videos of these actual victims talking, and they're talking about, like, oh yeah, like, there's celebrities that go there all the time, and a lot of, I just seen a video with two of the girls. One of them was like 15 or 14, and then the other one, they were all around the same age. Um, and they were talking about, the celebrities that go there and the politicians that go, like, went to his island, or um, things like that. And I was just thinking about how people love idolizing celebrities, and honestly that makes me hate celebrities. Like, when we were doing the Ascension table and all these celebrities were coming through, I was like, this is weird. I'm not a celebrity person. Honestly, I've always kind of like hated celebrities. I don't watch the Oscars or the MTV Music Awards or any of that shit because I just don't care. And I don't believe half the shit that half of celebrities say, because they're really good actors, they're really good liars. I mean, I don't think that they're all like that, but I just don't give a shit about wanting to take a picture with somebody or getting someone's autograph or giving a fuck about somebody because they're in a movie. You know what I mean? Or because they're on this pedestal and I'm not. Like, I don't look at celebrities like that. The R. Kelly thing. There's so many people that just don't believe it, or they still love R. Kelly. And but you know what? When all that shit was going on with, I don't know who that guy was, the guy in Congress. Oh my God, I don't really know. I don't follow politicians, but politicians, political stuff, but all I saw on my timeline was stuff about that guy. Um, Please, somebody help me. I don't know who he was. He was in, I don't even know. It was like back in like the 90s or something. Fuck. I don't know who he is. I don't know his name. But anyways, that's all people were talking about. That's all, like, everyone on my timeline was talking about, is how horrible this guy was. And I have to figure out the name now, but nobody's talking about Epstein. and Epstein has raped literally hundreds of women. And that's the other thing too, is the celebrities like underage women. No, they were fucking children. How about we just say they were children when he was having sex with them or trafficking them? They weren't underage women. Like, that's how the media manipulates everything. And this guy's a billionaire, so I'm sure he's friends with people in the media. Yeah, he runs the ring. So, I mean, we're just not holding these people. I mean, one of the people that I seen on the list, I'm just going to say it, was Will Smith. You know, he was supposedly on the Lolita Express. That, I guess that's the name of the plane that you take to the island, you know. And imagine if we found out that Will Smith was having sex with underage women, you know what I mean? Like, how would people take that? Because a lot of people love Will Smith. I mean, he seems cool to me, but like I said, I'm not like a big fan of celebrities. Like, I really, you know, I don't trust a lot of them. I think that they're sneaky people, and I think a lot of them do some fucked up shit to get where they are. Not all of them. I don't want to put all of them there. Yeah, Prince Andrew was one of them. I don't know who he is either, honestly. I just don't really care. Will Smith is gay. Jada is his beard. He likes, yeah, I don't know anything about that, honestly. And I really wouldn't care if Will Smith was gay, honestly. If he was having sex with children, that's fucked up. You know what I mean? But it's just, man, I don't know. I guess this is what I want to talk about tonight. And it's really, that's the other thing too, is it's going to be hard for people to take this in. So I feel like what's happening with all this information is it's really coming out very slowly, so that people can kind of be like weaned into it. You know what I mean? Like, people can grasp the fact that people that we idolize aren't who you think that they are, you know? And this is going to be a big part of people looking at their lives, because they're going to see all these people that they love and idolize, and all their demons coming out of their closet, and now they're going to look at themselves and be like, oh my God, what do I need to deal with within myself? Within a couple of days, that list will be released. Well, I really hope so, because I'm just so sick of people denying the truth about these people. Like, I'll never forget when the election was going on, and like everyone was like, Trump is a racist and whatever. If you think Trump is a racist, like, I don't know. I really don't, like, I really don't give a fuck about politicians, like I said. But I was like, well, Hillary Clinton is a racist too. And there's actual, like, Hillary Clinton was best friends with a grand master in the KKK who was in Congress. And this guy died, and she did a little video about how, like, great of a guy he was. And like, I guess that was like one of the pictures that was on the internet, but people were saying it was a conspiracy theory. And she's literally in a fucking video saying how much she loves this guy. So he was a grandmaster of the KKK. So I guess that's like a high order in the KKK. And this guy was old. So I'm sure that in order to be a grandmaster in the KKK, you definitely have to be killing and lynching people, especially if this guy was like in his 80s or 90s when he died. It's like, yo, like, all these people are fucked up. And Anthony Bourdain died shortly after calling out Hillary and her thugs. Yeah, a lot of people die after calling out Hillary Clinton. Like, I don't even really want to be talking about her on a live video, but you know what I mean? Like, I know all about Hillary Clinton and the shit that I read those fucking emails. And the emails with I don't even want to talk about that shit. But anyways, it's like, when are we going to start holding these people accountable? Because nothing's going to change until we start holding ourselves accountable, and then holding these people that are in power accountable. And really, that's what's coming up with me watching the Epstein stuff. um it's just, oh man, it just makes me so angry, like how much it's ignored. But if the media was all over it, everybody else would be all over it, and it would be the thing to talk about, you know what I mean? But it's just people, God. And you know, there's so many people in the spiritual community, and I say this all the time, there's so many people in the spiritual community that aren't awakened. You know what I mean? Like, you can be spiritual and not fucking awaken. You can be spiritual and connecting and like cleaning your chakras and doing Reiki, but it doesn't mean that you are fucking awakened. I'm sorry, it doesn't. Because there's a lot of people that are quote unquote spiritual that still live underneath the veil and live with the fucking veil over their face and ignore the things that are going on in reality. And that's just the damn truth. Um, we're being manipulated so hard right now. And when we did table tipping, that was one of the things. When Martin Luther King came in, he was just like, it is a war on the human mind right now. That is how they are separating the human race and really going in. It's a war on the mind. You know, that's the only way that they're going to get to us now. Yes, the light is exposing the dark. And honestly, I'm just going to be honest. I'm ready for people to just lose their shit over this. Yeah, Jason, it's all programming. It's all fucking programming. Like, I am ready for people to really hear these hardcore truths. Like, literally, yo, they got kids, they're trafficking kids and keeping them in fucking cages. And there's people saying to me, I just can't handle reading about the sex trafficking. Like, you can't handle reading about Jeffrey Epstein and learning about this truth because it hurts your feelings, when there's literally kids right now that are locked in fucking cages waiting to be raped. Like, this is how bad it gets. Those girls that I watched in the video, I don't think it was that bad, but it gets that bad. It gets fucking bad. It gets way worse than kids being locked in cages, what they're doing to these kids. Way worse than that. It's like horror movie nightmare shit when you really go down there. And it's happening, and it's not a fucking conspiracy theory. And I think that the truths coming out are going to show the real people, you know, the people that really want to be in it and be there on the front lines, and how they handle it and how we work with it. And then it's going to push all the fake fuckers to the back of the line. Like, you got a lot of shit to work on if you can't handle hearing the truth. I'm sorry, but you do. Because it's really time for us to open up and learn the truth and start doing something about it. It is not time to sit back and wait for somebody else to fix these fucking problems that we have. So yeah, I guess this turned into something I wasn't. The children of the world are our children. We should be outraged. Exactly. I mean, with the whole Harvey Weinstein thing, I was like, yo, that's nothing. Like, Harvey Weinstein is a lamb compared to some of these people out there. He's a fucking lamb. They threw him under the bus. Somebody threw him under the bus. Somebody was like, give up Harvey. Fuck him. Because there's people that are way worse than that dude out there. They literally make him look like a little bitch. All of the hundreds of thousands of kids, people that go missing with not a single piece of evidence of their existence left. Nobody, no paper trail. They are all bought and sold on the black market. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I've seen a few videos on Facebook where people were just walking down the street with their kids and like there's a camera on and you can see some guys like trying to steal their kid. Like that guy's trying to make some money. It's true. No one wants to believe, and it's so frustrating when they say I'm crazy. Oh my God, dude. I can't. And I can't deal with people that are spiritual that are like, that's a conspiracy theory. I just can't do it. I can't fucking do it. You're not fucking spiritual. You're a bitch. Go back and fucking play with your amethyst because shit's about to get real. And I ain't fucking playing no more. So start holding yourself fucking accountable. Start being accountable for the truths in this world. You know what I mean? So I don't know. That was kind of my rant for tonight. But I am going to be talking a lot more about accountability because I think it's important. And kids are sex slaves and traded, and the elite can afford, oh, they can totally afford the cover-ups. Like, this Epstein guy had secretaries working for him. Like, they were, like, paying these girls after he had sex with them, knowing that they were, like, 13, 14. Like, they were going and paying the girls. He had scouts that were women that would go out and look for these girls. DCYF. Oh yeah, DCYF, fuck them. We have paid $3,000 per kid to move children through North Korea into China and then into the US to protect them and move them out of slavery. Yeah, it just gets really, really, really messy. And like Epstein, dude, it's crazy. It's so crazy how people just don't believe it either. And like when you look at some of these child stars, like look at the Olsen twins. They do not look well. Not to be mean or anything, but they do not look well. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Just saying. And then fucking Macaulay Culkin, he says shit. He's saying shit about this stuff. And he had some really bad issues. Who is the other one? Corey Feldman. Nobody wanted to listen to him. Nobody gave a shit about him. People were just talking shit about him when he was trying to tell his story. You know? Oh, there, yeah. So, this is the stuff that, you know, it's really going to, it's going to fuck people up. And I'm happy. Because I feel like if you're going to get fucked up just from hearing this, you should. You should get fucked up from hearing it. Because there's people out there that fucking, they're victims to this. So if you can't handle hearing it, I don't know, man. I don't know. And when you really go down that rabbit hole, it all connects to aliens, I'll tell you that. Child sex trafficking connects to ETs. It does. It's a fucking odd connection. Actually, it makes a lot of sense. And actually, I am going to talk about it in my ETs 101. That will be next, what is it? The 23rd when I go live. So, in a world full of facts, people are becoming less interested in the truth. Oh my God, yes. That is such a great quote right there. You should make that a t-shirt. When you have enough money to buy a human, then use them as prey and hunt them like an animal, it's disgusting how evil a person can be. Then use them as prey and yeah, people do. I've heard of that. I mean, I don't know. It just bothers me that people are like, they're just not talking about it. You know what I mean? Like, it's... Who was that guy? I can't look it up on my phone. The guy that because that was something that was like a big story. I don't know. I can't think of the words right now. I'm probably not supposed to talk about it. It's a massive problem. We worked in Houston, too, during the Super Bowl when we have people like Bob Kraft partaking. So I heard that the Super Bowl is like a really big trafficking place or something like that's where a lot of kids are trafficked too. Of all this information at our fingertips, literally, and people choose to ignore it. Well, and that's the thing too, is because people they can't be accountable for their own shit. So if they can't even be accountable for their own shit and the things that they need to fix, they can't handle the external truth. No, it wasn't Jeffrey Dahmer. It was some guy in Congress that they were grilling, like, it was like last year or something. And some lady it wasn't Congress. It wasn't Congress. It was, Congress was grilling him, but he was supposed to be a judge or something. And like the lady that was in Congress, I think she was in Congress, was like, oh, he raped me like 20 years ago or something, or he did something to me. No, it wasn't Weiner. I've heard about Anthony Weiner, and like I heard that when the cops took his computer, the NYPD took his computer, that what they found on it was so horrendous and like it was so bad that some of the cops quit and resigned from what they found on his computer. I think it was the chief of justice, maybe. I don't know these political terms. I just know it was the guy on TV that they were saying, and like it was like during his college years that he like raped like this. Did he rape this lady? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know the names and the terms because I wasn't really paying attention to it. Because honestly, yeah, Kavanaugh. That sounds familiar. I think that's what it was. Yeah, and they had the hearing. She came forward and nobody believed her. Yeah. The woman's story was they were drinking and he took advantage of her. Yes, that was the thing. That was the thing. So, like, everyone on my page was in an uproar about this guy and this fucking lady. And I'm like, yo, there's kids locked in fucking cages right now. There's kids that are in underground tunnels, and they're like, there's no age limit with these people. There's no fucking age limit. Like, they have sex with babies. Like, that's how bad this shit gets. But nobody gives a fuck. Nobody gives a fuck. You know what I mean? But that guy, Kavanaugh, he's a fucking devil. You know what I mean? Like, dude, that's not accountability. If you hold one person accountable, you gotta hold the other person accountable. You know what I mean? People don't do that shit. They like to pick the enemy. They like to pick and choose their enemy. You can't pick and choose the bad guy. You can't do that. You hold one person accountable who did something fucked up that you don't like, you gotta hold the other person accountable. That's how it is. I also heard she was a paid actor, but just playing develops and advocates there. Yeah, I don't know what happened with that. But honestly, I didn't care because I just didn't care. It didn't trigger me at all. Like, I didn't care about that guy. I didn't care about that lady. I just didn't care because there's way worse shit going on with children. And I think that people need to focus on that. You know what I mean? Colleen, you posted something about it the other day. I seen that you posted. Now you're just joining in. You probably don't know what I'm talking about. We're talking about Epstein and how they're said like it's just people don't really give a shit. And I know you posted something about how they're saying he had sex with underage women and it was children that he was having sex with. Like, children, not underage women. Fucking children. You know? So the Epstein thing started making me think about like how people, they just don't know how to hold certain people accountable for things. That's the problem, is that we like to pick and choose who we don't like, who's the bad person here, you know? Oh, well, he looks like a good bad guy to me, so I'm going to blame everything on him. But the other guy, no, I like him. He looks nice and he sounds nice and he says nice things. So I'm just going to believe him. You know what I mean? No, it's not like that. Like, a lot of people loved Obama. I didn't like Obama. I thought Obama was fake as fuck. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, no, he's not a good guy. I don't believe anything that he says. He's great at making you think he's a good guy, because sometimes when he would talk, I'd be like, oh, I like him. And then I'd be like, no. My intuition would be like, no, I don't like that guy, you know? No, more money you have, the less accountability you have. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Um, but yeah, I don't know. So I think I'm done with this conversation right now. But we do have some awakened people on here. We do have the awakened people. I can't do it with the spiritual people. I can't do it with the spiritual people, because the spiritual people just want to run and hide. They're just like the regular people, but they play with fucking crystals and sound bowls. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, if you can't dig, man, you can't dig. Like, you can't go deep. Don't pretend that you're going deep when you're not, because you're not. You're just, you're just fucking, you're fucking with the surface, just like every other sleepwalking zombie here. You know? You're just playing with spirit a little bit. I don't fucking play that shit, man. I don't play that shit. I can't, like, you gotta hold yourself accountable. You gotta hold yourself accountable to be in my space, and that's what I'm calling in now. If you can't do that, you can't be in Ashley's space. That's it. They hide behind the light, never owning the dark. Yeah. hmm I mean, outrage is orchestrated and has become weaponized. Authentic outrage. Yeah, no, I know. Outrage is like the new thing now. Or being offended by everything. I'm just going to be offended by everything. And I'm not going to listen to anything because I'm too offended. My son legit told me today everybody's asleep. He is 5. Yeah, because all these kids. You know why? Because the Galactic Federation of Light is like, you know what? All these fucking people are stupid. Now we gotta go get the other ones. We gotta go get the other ones from the other star systems and just start bringing them in. Because these motherfuckers down here are dumb and they're not fucking getting it. And they're just like, we put all these commanders and chiefs down here and we put all these hardcore light workers. They're just fucking being ignored. So now we gotta bring in the little rainbow children and the little star seeds and the little dragon children, because they're just gonna have to just spread their light and fuck shit up and just tell the fucking truth, man. So I don't know. All right, I'm signing off. I hope you all have a good night. Keep spreading the truth. Be your awakened self. And I don't know. Hold yourselves accountable. So I will be live on this page tomorrow with Steve, and we're definitely going to talk about some really cool shit tomorrow on our first. It's actually going to be our first official episode of our podcast. So I will see y'all tomorrow around like 2:30, 3 o'clock Eastern time. Have a good night. Bye.